we want people to come in through merit. And you know, we're going to need merit. We need people to come in to our country because we have so many companies now moving in because of the regulations and because of what we did with the massive tax cut. We're going to need people to take care of the companies. So, but we want people based on merit, not based on the fact that they're thrown into a bin. And many of those people are not the people you want in the country, believe me.
Well, President Trump calling for a merit-based system on immigration that would judge applicants on skills rather than family connections. And a new Harvard-Harris poll finds that most Americans agree. So is it time for Congress to act and reform our immigration system? Here now to weigh in is the executive director of the Center for Immigration Studies, Mark Krikorian. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
So you just saw that poll that we put up. The majority of Americans believe that it should be based on merit and skills. What do you think? Does that surprise you?
It's pretty common sense. No, because look, other than husbands, wives, and little kids, immigration shouldn't be based on who you know. It should be based on what you know. Look, if the NFL, when it does its draft, doesn't pick people because they have a son who plays in the NFL, and hey, you know, we'll let you in too. They pick people who are the best at what they do. There are hundreds of millions of people who want to move here, and so we should be choosy in who we take. I actually kind of disagree with the president about how many people we take. He seems to think we need lots of people, you know, lots of new immigration. I don't think so. But whatever we take, we should be taking people based on what they know, not who they know.
You know, as I was going through these polls, and let's bring up this other one that I'll get you to respond to as well, the number of people that actually support the comprehensive immigration reform, 76% support that. 24% oppose it. Why aren't we hearing more about this, like in the media? Because if you listen to some of the mainstream media, you would think it's the exact opposite.
Well, I think one of the reasons, for instance, that you're talking about the president's proposal to join some amnesty for some people with some of these significant immigration changes, a lot of people support it. A lot of the polling shows that. But I don't think it's all that important to people, really, one way or the other, whereas the people fighting it, the people who want to keep our immigration system the way it is, really have an intense interest, and so they pay lobbyists, they pressure people. And when you have it's not really a balance. You have most of the public saying, you know, I think we should fix things the way the president's saying it, compared to highly motivated, paid lobbyists. It's not much of a competition. The lobbyists win.
So it's not that important to them. They don't feel as passionately about it, is what you're saying. And then the support for the visa lottery program, 70% oppose that. And of course, the president wants changes made to that as well.
Right. It's a similar situation. This visa lottery, we give 50,000 green cards a year to people at random around the world. It's one of the dumbest immigration programs imaginable. Again, everybody thinks it's dumb and it should go away, but there's an intense political interest by a handful of people in keeping it going, and so far they've been the ones who've been winning the debate.
Yeah, this one other thing I found very interesting. This was the question that was posed specifically. It said, should the immigration policy be based on a person's ability to contribute to America? And when you polled Hispanic respondents, 83% agreed with that statement.
Yeah, again, no surprise. It's common sense. Of course, when you're in a seller's market, if you will. We're not selling green cards for the most part, but way more people want them than we're going to be giving out. So you should be you know, picky and choosy in who you give them to. And it doesn't matter what ethnic group you belong to. That's just a common sense point of view.
All right. I think important to point out for sure. Mark Krikorian, thank you so much for joining us and taking us through all those polls with us this morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a great week.